to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Carol. Present.
Triancinetti, Engineers.
Here.
Dan DeVito.
Here.
Here.
Bob Navarro. Dave Pope. Lou Cavallo.
Here.
Joe Juba.
Here.
Jeff McHugh.
Here.
I'm gonna place Jack McHugh in for Richard Antonetti, who's not present tonight.
And also Joe Juba should be seated for Dave Pope. He was supposed to be here. but-
Okay, we'll shoot Joe Duva for Dave Pope also.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Okay, next item on the agenda is an executive session, so I'm gonna call a brief recess for an executive session. Thank you.
You have to make a motion.
Motion, do I have a motion for it? Do we have a motion for an
Make
executive
a motion
session?
to go into executive session.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We'll have a brief recess. Have Joe. Hear a motion to amend the minutes of the agenda to move an item. I'd like to have a motion to amend the agenda to move item 9B to up to item 4A at this time. Do I hear such?
So
motion?
moved.
Do I hear a
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so motion 9B is the discussion and possible action regarding the Renaissance Group versus the Planning and Zoning Commission, which is currently in litigation, and we have a settlement proposal. And does the town attorney wish to speak on this matter, or should we just continue it? We have a resolution in front of us. Okay, prepared by the town planner, Mark Massoud. And do I hear a motion to adopt this resolution and approve the proposed text amendments to the Watertown zoning regulations for Oakville Village Plan Development District, Sealy Oakville Village Plan Development District as a stipulation for settlement of the pending litigation in Waterbury Superior Court?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion at this time? No. So move it's approved. This resolution has been approved as a stipulation for the settlement of the Renaissance appeal pending in Waterbury Superior Court. Town attorney, before you leave the room, did I miss anything? Paul? Before you leave the room with Franklin, is there anything else that you want added to this? Okay, thank you, Paul. Appreciate your time. Okay. Very good.
Participation.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is public participation limited to items not listed as public hearings on the agenda. Does anybody from the public wish to speak? Would you like to go on?
Here you go, the other one.
I got one. Okay. Change chairs. Okay, Catherine Camera, 31 Cottage Place in Oakville. So what do I have to do? FOI the resolution that we don't know, have any clue what the text amendment changes are, the resolution that you just voted on?
It'll be available in town at the planning, the land use department.
So I can FOI that and get it tomorrow?
You can probably just go down and ask to look at it.
Take a look at it tonight?
It's up to Mark and it's, I mean, he'll be open tomorrow. I'm sure you can get it during the day.
Yes, I'm surprised that it wasn't read to us since you voted on it. Don't you? We usually get to hear what you're voting on.
This was an executive session to settle a lawsuit. So
Understood.
that's why it was an executive session, but it is available. The resolution will be available to view.
Okay.
And it's not official until it's approved by the courts. Okay, because
Yeah.
it's a settlement of a stipulation for settlement of a lawsuit.
Understood,
Okay.
but it would be nice if we could know what it was. I attended the last meeting that was with Glenn Chalder remotely, and it was incredibly hard to hear him when he was at the podium over there. Some of what you commissioners had to say was also missed when you were not speaking clearly into the microphone. So, and he was also, Mr. Chalder was also walking at times, so it was completely mute. And since I and other people might attend that September 19th meeting remotely, I'm asking that everyone try to do their best to be mindful of that. And if you might notice if somebody's not near their mic, because there's nothing we can do when we're watching it, if you could maybe try to make sure that people are near their mic so that we can hear it remotely, because it totally gets lost. Not knowing what that resolution says, I just want to say that that zone change was actually approved by you because the vote was 4-3. But as you all know, it failed to meet the 5-2 threshold that was sent by the petitions of the people in the surrounding area, the property owners, which is in accordance with the Connecticut statute. I just want to be sure that you all think about the fact that that statute, which is now part of your regulations, what it's really about. It's really about allowing the people in the area to have a fair say in what zone changes happen. And I certainly hope that we're going to find out that we were still treated fairly with your stipulation to end the lawsuit. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
Sorry, I'm new here to Watertown. I'm just happy to car, 243 Echo Lake Road.
Oh, you have to approach and speak into the mic, please.
Excuse me.
Give us your name and address. Say it again, please. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. My name is Adam Urankar, 243 Echo Lake Road, Unit D1.
That item, I think, is on the agenda
It is,
tonight.
excuse me.
Is it?
Yeah, no,
Adam,
you
yeah.
can wait till that item comes up.
I apologize.
Okay. Okay, you could, thank you. Okay, Carol, are any minutes typed? Okay, so we don't have to, we don't have to table or approve anything. We just pass that over. Staff report, Mark.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. The only thing well, two things actually, just a reminder, although I don't know that you need it, we're having the public information session for the zoning regulations on the 19th. Glenn will be back here. This is primarily for the public to ask questions, gain a little bit more understanding of the regulations. They've been put online on the town website. So hopefully, and we've published in the newspaper an advertisement for it, for the information session. So it'll be a chance to weigh in, have some discussion on the regulations. And then from there, taking any comments into consideration to incorporate them into the another more final draft of the regulations, which is tentatively scheduled for public hearing likely in November with final adoption in December.
Okay.
One other thing, there is I'll call it a fair house. There's a housing the Connecticut APA is putting on a housing forum next Wednesday, the 11th. They're asking for staff and a volunteer commission from each town to attend. If any commissioner has the ability, interest in attending, that would be next Wednesday. Please let us know. And that's all that I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Yeah, I do. Mark, I just realized after Catherine Kamara left that there's a possibility that this is still in litigation until it's approved, the settlement is approved by the court. So that may not be public until such time. So I would recommend that you check with Paul Jessel on disclosure of the resolution until, you know, to the public prior to the approval by the court.
I did, that's one of the questions I asked him just previously, and my understanding is it can't, since the commission voted on it. It can be, but I will double check that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Didn't occur to me at the time, but
Yeah.
no, okay. All right. What, another question, what's APA, Connecticut APA?
Connecticut, the chapter of the American Planning Association.
Okay. All right, there is nothing to report from the chairman here, and we'll move on to new business. 9A is the Black Rock Notch subdivision, Thomaston Road, letter dated August 26th, 2024, from John Dodona, requesting a 90-day extension of to file Mylar plans.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to remove myself from item A and item C.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Demers is recognized. All right. Mark, you want to comment on this application?
Sure. It's really a straightforward administrative matter. Anyone who has a site plan, special permit, site plan approval must file a Mylar within 90 days of the approval. His engineer has not yet produced that Mylar. Of course, that Mylar has to be signed by town officials. And so there is room, there is a provision for an extension for an additional 90 days. And that's what he's requesting.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to?
I make a motion that we approve the 90-day extension for John Dodona.
Second.
All, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. We've given them the 90-day extension. Item C, 9C is 243 Echo Lake Road. Premier Properties request for modification of the site plan with reference to location and number of waste dumpsters provided in the development. We have the applicant here.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Premier Properties.
Hi,
How are you?
good.
So we're here for a couple of reasons, not just the dumpsters. There was a complaint that the dumpsters was too close to someone's property. Upon looking at the site plan, we saw that the engineer missed the location placement on the previous modification. And we basically did the plan, brought it in, and Mark and I went over to the health department and asked if there was any issues, because they were called too, and they went up there. They had no issues. And she recommended to me and Mark that one dumpster is not sufficient for 36 families. That you are going to have a health code violation if more dumpsters are not put there or something's done about it. So we relooked at the site and we put in 2 dumpster pads in locations that was not on the originally approved plan. Where it was in the fire road up at the end where the fire truck turned around. And the layer that the engineer was to put on a plan didn't go on the plan. That's our fault. That's nobody else's fault. So you'll see that that dumpster pad has now been removed. And because we added those ADA units, we needed to add a couple extra handicap spaces. So where they put them was up on that right-hand side in the area where the fire trucks would pull in to turn around, and removed the dumpster pad and just added the one as you come down into, you know, as you drive up the road, you'll see the first one on the right. You go into building A, you'll see that one next to unit 1 on the front. And then if you look up at the top where Adam's place is, you'll see the dumpster on unit 1, D1. So that dumpster is basically almost the same distance from the one down below. There's just no other places to put them. Now, we could up at D1, we could, you know, call the garbage company.
For a second, I'm
Yeah.
trying to follow where these dumpsters are
Okay.
on the map. All right, I see one up here. One here, it just put circles on
Yeah,
it.
up at circles. So you got the one here, and then this is the gentleman that's here tonight.
Mhm.
The original one was right here.
Okay,
We had to get rid of this because this is a fire turn.
right.
And then there's one here,
Mhm.
and then basically this pad was in, this one's in, this one is not in yet,
Okay,
because this is just.
so I have 3 dumpsters.
Yeah, well, there was gonna be a total of 4, but if that pad is too big and they want it like this one, we can crop it in and just put a taller dumpster with a side load.
Is this in lieu of garbage pails?
Yes.
Just dumpsters?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Unfortunately,
Can't hear.
you guys
All right.
talking up
Okay,
there, the
right.
public
All right,
doesn't
I got
have any
Well, I wanted to
knowledge
see,
of what you're
I'm
looking, what you're
gonna send
looking
this
at.
around to everybody could take a look at where the, because maybe people weren't catching this. All right, here, just pass this down that way. So they can see it. Just give us a moment.
Ryan, could you maybe kind of hold your map and indicate where the dumpsters are as best you could?
Oh, okay.
Just so, again, the public is.
You have your map?
There. Pass it over there.
So if you look, you'll see there was a double up by yours. Single down and a single down. I mean, they could make this from a double, make it a single. And then just put a taller dumpster with a side load instead of a top load. But there's just no other locations to put these.
Why not where the original plans were?
Well, because that's the fire road. So what happened is we went in for a modification. And when we went in for the modification, the engineer made a mistake and didn't put certain things on the plan. And we caught it. And when we caught it, we had to make a modification for this. Because when you and I originally talked, you didn't like the dumpster. I said, well, if we could find another location to put it, we would. Well, we couldn't find it because now the health department's telling us we can't just have one dumpster on the site. We have to have multiple. You know, it's not about, and I understand, I feel for you, but on the other side of it, the dumpsters need to
Well,
be.
you have to address the commission.
Right, I'm sorry, I just,
And he can address the commission and then you can talk to the
the
commission.
bottom line comes down to,
All right,
we,
right.
we,
Ready, may I go up?
No, wait, you'll get your chance.
Yes.
Okay.
so basically, there's very limited areas to put dumpsters. And one dumpster isn't sufficient for 36 families. That's just definitely common. It was definitely an oversight. It was a mistake. We have them on the plan now, and this is what we're proposing. And after speaking with Wendy at the Torrington Area Health, she concurs that there needs to be more than one dumpster on this site. You know, if you drive around different sites, you'll see at these condo sites, there's multiple dumpsters in basically same size condominium complexes, apartment complexes. Should be one per every building.
Through the chair,
Sure.
where was the original dumpster?
The original one on the plan showed it up in the fire road,
All the
which
way
is
up?
all the way up at the top.
So originally, people from building A would have to walk all the way up with their garbage out to the end of the fire.
That's where it was originally designed for.
I mean, that's a long walk.
It was a mistake. It was a poor engineered design for dumpster locations. And it just wasn't picked up on the modification. That's why we're here tonight, to modify it. The only other alternative we have is to have a meeting, which I control the association, and just vote out the garbage completely and let the people do what they gotta do with their own garbage. I mean, obviously, we can't do that, but if we don't have locations to put dumpsters to accommodate the homeowners, we're gonna have to figure out, what do they do then?
Is that part of your HOA fees?
Yes. So it's a catch-22. It's, what do we do? What do we do with those dumpsters? And I've been back and forth trying to figure the best place to put them.
Well, again, through the chair, I see what's gonna happen here. Somebody who bought a unit didn't have a dumpster in front of their building, in front of their unit. You know, and they paid whatever they paid for it. Now they have a unsightly dumpster in front of their building, so that's gonna be a problem.
Right, and they relied on a site plan at that time when they made the purchase.
No, I understand. I understand completely.
If I may, through the chair as well.
Sure, Luke.
I used to fertilize condo units in my prior life or job, I should say, and every condo complex that we've ever been to, they've always had multiple dumpsters for the convenience of what we said before. You don't have to walk so far with your garbage. So I don't see that this is unreasonable to have these locations here. I do understand the point that it could be unsightly. Is there anything you could do to make it less unsightly?
So we propose an enclosure around each dumpster, which is on the plan. It's kind of in fine print, but it shows a vinyl enclosure around each one. Right now, they're open concrete pads, the dumpster's on top of the pad. Obviously, it's under construction, so we're almost done up on the top there, so we're gonna wanna figure out, all right, are we gonna crop that upper dumpster pad to one single? Enclose it, just put a taller dumpster so they can side load into it, and then you don't have such a big area.
I know that, again, through the chair, that, where my uncle lives in one of the condo units in Waterbury, he actually has a dumpster, and they've done what you said with the fence and everything else, and you barely even know that it's there. So I was just curious if you could make it look aesthetically pleasing where nobody will even know it's there unless you get access to it, And I
Yeah.
like the way you were thinking about closing the doors on the side. It provides less animals for getting in, and it keeps the bears away. And where if you had individual ones, one of the ones we went through had individual, and it's a mess with the raccoons, the bears, the animals. So that also could be a real problem. And again, I'm just talking about what I've seen in some of these units. So thank you. That's all I have.
Is there any reason that we didn't get a little like sketch of the dumpster, the enclosure or something that you were?
Well, the enclosure is basically, it's a vinyl fence, and it calls out a vinyl fence enclosure, so all
Yeah,
it's.
whereabouts does it call that out, sir? I didn't see that.
Let's see.
Just tell me on the map.
So if you look at the dumpster, it says vinyl enclosure. And it's identical to the fence that's on the site now. So
Okay.
all the same vinyl fence is gonna be used, so everything's symmetrical and it all looks the same. We're not gonna put chain link fence up. It's gonna look like a prison,
Right.
Through the chair.
Yeah.
2 questions. Did you reach out to the property owner that's at the end of the fire road to see if you could purchase that little chunk of land so you could put a dumpster there?
No, it's not even, that's Wilshire Group. That's all tied up in probate.
Oh, okay. My other suggestion, I know initially you plan on having one centrally located dumpster area, right? But that would be an issue. You'd need more than one dumpster.
Well, like the one down below,
Yep.
in the first building, you'll see it, it's always at the end.
Yeah,
It's almost identical to how it's showed up top. That gentleman in that unit's 85 years old. So he comes down the stairs, he goes outside, he puts his garbage in the dumpster, where the guy at the other end, he's in his early 30s. He walks over to the dumpster. I mean, I'm not opposed, but where do we put it? You know, we've gone through this plan 100 times,
yeah.
trying to find the right spot.
So I was thinking if you did it here, you'd lose a couple parking spots, but your garbage.
We can't lose parking spots. We're at the,
Mm. Well, could you pick up parking spots here? Well, no, because you're gonna go into their backyard.
and here's the deal. If you know the configurations of the units, right? So you're looking at the units. His particular unit, there's a front door, there's a garage. You have to go up a full flight of stairs before you hit his living space. Even if we were able to put a dumpster up behind it, now the dumpster is behind where people are outside all the time.
Right.
When you go in your front door, you close your front door, you go upstairs. You're in your living space upstairs. You're out on your deck. So to put that dumpster up there, now it's in the backyard of where people are physically gonna be having to deal with it. Where over here, most of them, they pull in the garage or they park, they go in their door and they go upstairs, they close their door.
I mean, through the chair, I mean, I agree with, I'm gonna see both people's argument here. You need more than one dumpster for this many units. I still think, I mean, how many buildings do you have? You have 4 buildings and you have 3 dumpsters? I really don't even think that's enough.
Well, there's 4 because the upper
It's a
one,
double.
yeah, so that one picks up building C and building D.
Okay,
Building B gets picked up off of the one there right at the bottom of, next to that unit. And then building A gets picked off of that dumpster. So we put the minimum in.
yeah, no, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from. You did not have enough dumpsters. But we haven't heard this gentleman speak yet, and I have an idea what I'm gonna hear.
Absolutely.
So
Okay, anything else you'd like to answer?
Nope, just that when the complaint was made, the health department went out. And Mark happened to be in the office. We walked over and met with Wendy. He knows exactly what was said. And she's like, there's no way one dumpster is gonna work on this site. No way.
Okay, we heard that.
And
Yep.
she saw no violation at the time because it wasn't, there's not everybody's living there yet. You know, the next building over is not full. The new building's going up. So we'll put all the rest of the dumpster pads
What I
in.
don't understand is how you did this original plan without considering sanitation.
We did, it was supposed to be up at the top, but it was the original plan. We bought this previously approved. And when they did the modification, we assumed that was our fault.
Right.
So we should have picked up on it. This is my fault. This isn't anybody else's fault. I should have seen that problem. I do enough of these developments and you need dumpsters. This one slipped through the cracks because I wasn't really part of the original. We bought this from a gentleman. So that dumpster pad was placed there and no other thought was put into it until we saw now that there's a problem.
I have another question through the chair.
Sure.
I think my mic is off though, but. So it sounds like you don't have much of a choice with the health department. Are you in a situation where you have to put these 3 dumpsters now through the health department? Is there another choice?
All she said to me and Mark that day was it could become a potential problem if there's not more dumpsters put in place. She goes, one dumpster is not going to service that property.
Okay,
If I may, it was not a directive from the health department. It was advice. They didn't find any immediate or acute health hazard. So their participation was limited, but they did make that observation and advice. If I may further, Mr. Chair, I just want to ask a question. Ryan, I know it appears that you're trying to locate the dumpsters either on an existing pad and within your already paved or impervious areas. Is there a possibility of finding a spot that's, maybe it's not already paved, but it would be a little bit more out of the way, that could be made in an impervious surface, and locate the dumpster a little further away from existing parking areas? I just throw that out as a suggestion.
I mean, you could look at the site plan and you could see that we kind of shoved that one in and for that building on the right going up building B. That actually just worked out that it could fit on that angle. There's just no other place to put it. There's not even one other place to put it. Yeah, I mean, I sat down with the engineer, we spent a couple hours just going over it, and he's like, these are the only locations. These are where they should have been. And it was missed. And that's unfortunate, but that's why we're here tonight, because we have to figure out, what direction do we go? Do we just, what do we do? Pull the dumpsters and just say they need to put their garbage somewhere. If they don't have a place to put it,
Where does the fire road exit to?
So the fire road only goes up, that's for them to when they pull in, so they can get up in that area and get at that fire hydrant.
Oh, there's a hydrant up there.
Yeah, so that's the only reason we can't block that. But then again, you're putting the dumpster in a backyard. These things there's garages and doors. When you go up, you're going up a full flight of stairs into the living space. And then you go out back to your back deck. So even if we could put a dumpster up there, now you're in the backyard. You're out on your deck, you're grilling, you have a dumpster right there. So if there was other places, believe me, I would say, because I do site work, that's what I do. If there was a better place to put it, I'd find it. And they're where they're put on the plan where they should be. Concurrent to other facilities in town, other towns, other developments we've done. That's where they are.
Ryan, what's behind the two handicap parking spaces up near the fire road? See two handicap parking spaces?
Yeah.
What's behind there?
The back would be the back of building B.
Okay.
Just like if we put it up there, we'd be behind building D.
And through the chair again, sorry.
Sure. Go ahead.
Any thought about individual garbage cans in their garage that they can pull out?
That would end up being probably a huge detriment to the, they'd have to bring them down to the front.
All the way down to the road?
Yep.
Have you talked to USA or one of the other?
Talk to Rocco's.
Okay.
And that'd just be a nightmare.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah, but you got 36 people putting a dumpster can out. Imagine what that's gonna look like. Sounds like a nightmare,
Okay.
But I appreciate that because, believe me, I feel for them, but it's the general consensus is people need a place to put their garbage.
Yes. Okay, you're all set?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Your turn.
Gentlemen, good evening. Adam Urankar, 243 Echo Lake Road, Unit D1. I purchased this property under the understanding that from the seller side, gentleman who dismissed himself, that this was approved or he was originally talking about near the fire, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure. Excuse my language. I'm not sure. Upon moving in to this unit, not even a month later, there was a pad being built. If I may, he was just describing that there's only one dumpster for every of the units that are existence. Is that what we're understanding right now? Did he just say that? Well, actually, there's two dumpsters currently. One in front of building A and one in front of building D. So he now has two dumpsters that were not approved for any of these site plans until now. I was just given this upon walking in. This is the first time I've been informed about this situation of having multiple dumpsters. Understanding that the health department was contacted and they said that they would need multiple. With that being said, I would never have bought this unit if I would have known that the actual dumpster would have been 17 and a half to 18 feet from my doorstep. Okay. That being said, I've incurred other problems. One being an infestation of bugs. There are now rodents running around. I have pictures. And with the placement of the existing dumpster that was not approved is 5 feet from one of my cars. So now getting into that location is more hassle. Also, on top of that, I have another car that's even longer, about 16 feet. So now it's roughly 5 more feet from my. Also with that, opening a window when it's nice outside like it is now, I don't want to smell that. I've been smelling it constantly, but also when it rains, the runoff, the sanitation. We drive up, I walk out. If I want to walk my, 4-month-old daughter, I have to worry about not just rodents, but the sanitation of that. I didn't work my butt off to buy this house, to be misinformed. And when I brought it to Mr. Gettes's attention, I misunderstood him. I thought that it was going to be there temporarily. He told me in a text message that it was already approved and he was working on this. I have that documentation that I could prove to you. So not only was I originally told it was going to be somewhere else, now I'm being misinformed. I brought these pictures here for you gentlemen to look. In some of those pictures, it's just a visualization of me taking a picture from the second story, third story, and ground level of where my car is located, how close it is to my dwelling, when I open the door, and when I open my garage. In other pictures, there's an infestation of bugs. Gentlemen, mind you, I just moved into this house in March. I understand that there needs to be more dumpsters, but the location of where this is now has caused a lot of hardships and will continue to cause hardships. And again, if I would have known that it was there in the beginning, I would not have purchased that specific location because I was the first one to buy that unit in that D unit. I had an option to either go with A5 or I spoke to Ken Demers and asked about any of these units. He said, none of them are on the market, but if you put a bid in, okay. So I put the bid in and I understood that per that site, what I was told, it was gonna be in that fire. So now my problem is possible, devaluation of my house, sanitation, and anything else that comes with any hardships of being 17 and a half to 18 feet from my dwelling. I'm willing to understand that you do need more because it makes sense. There's going to be 36, units in one, and then there's going to be another 12 in another. I understand that. But I can't live with the fact that this is so close to my house, especially raising a daughter that eventually is going to start walking. And I've also brought two other individuals to voice their concerns.
What's your feeling about individual garbage pails in the garage being brought out a certain day of the week for collection?
Let me think about that for a second. Individually, it could be done. Will it cause hardships? Yes. But also, with the current location of those two dumpsters that are proposed and the one that has already been there next to my house, there's possibly going to be other problems with the units right across from me that are going to experience the same problems, but also parking.
You didn't address my question.
I'm sorry.
My question was specifically, what's your opinion or feeling about having individual units have garbage pails in their garages and bring them out for collection day with the garbage truck coming by?
That can be done. I've lived in HOAs. I've had that done. The only problem is we have to talk about it because it's something new, an issue that could arise, but at the same time, is it going to work for everyone? I don't know. I don't speak on the people that do not live there currently or just purchased a unit. I'm just experiencing what I have and others alike. Could it be done? Yes.
I didn't ask you if you think it could be done. I asked you what's your opinion of it? What do you think it would be a better thing for you or not a good thing for you?
I think it would be good for units that are stuck at the end. Instead of having these huge dumpsters that cause a problem with not just sanitation, but logistics of movement, it could be done. And I think that it could be done as well.
Any commission
Yeah.
members have any questions?
I have a question through the chair. I'm looking at this dumpster. Is this just for garbage?
Yes,
Where's the recycling dumpster?
there is none.
I thought that's a state, isn't that a state law that you have to have both garbage and recycling?
If I may through the chair, they've changed that a little bit. Cause a lot of people are not using the recycling or the garbages officially. So what they're doing is they're sorting all the garbages at the facility and separating the recycled with the garbage. They actually hired a crew to do that from what I understand.
That's a great job.
It's not a good job, but nobody's doing it. Nobody's separating the recyclables. Not enough people are separating the recyclables from the garbage. They're all kind of using both cans as one.
Well, you're talking about commercial units or residential or? both?
Residential as far as, but I think they bundle all that into one. Cause one of my neighbors was telling me how they just use both recyclable and garbage as a garbage. And I'm like, why do you do that? And they're like, well, because it doesn't matter anymore, because now everything goes into a big hopper and they sort everything. going through these conveyor belts. That's
Wait.
from what I understand. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they're saying they do now.
Cause you know, for my commercial properties, my dumpsters, I have to have garbage and recycle for, I mean, all my properties.
Yeah.
And I
I'm-
pay for both.
Right. I don't know that it's required by law, but from what I understand, that's what they're doing now. So I just thought I would throw that in there.
In my community, which is 40 units, everybody has a recycle and the garbage. They keep in their garage. They bring it out on Monday mornings. Put it out on Sunday nights. It's picked up on Monday mornings. And the association pays USA Hauling for both the recycles and the regular garbage. And we don't have any rodents, we don't have any pests, we don't have any stink.
Through the chair,
Yes,
is there a fine for not bringing your can back in Monday night?
we're not bringing my can back in Monday night. They do request that the garbage not be brought out until 5 o'clock at night. That's the only request.
I heard they flagged you, but I feel.
I haven't seen any fines.
Okay.
Gentlemen, if I may though, I did make a formal complaint prior to this. So I just want to notate that. And be heard, please.
Mr. Chairman? If I may just answer that question, I just looked it up real
The recycle
quick.
question? The
Or
recycle question?
recycling at
Yeah, right, huh?
multifamily and condos. And this is just cursory, but this is from the state website. Just like any other entity in Connecticut, apartment and condominium complexes are required to recover recyclables. You, your landlord, or your condo management company must separate recyclables from other solid waste and provide for recycling. And they cite a section of the law.
Okay, so. Thank you, Mark. That answers that question. Any other commission members have any questions of this gentleman?
Through the chair.
Yeah.
I think he's making very valid points. I don't think any of us would want for lack of a better term, a bait and a switch. You know, you purchase something, it's supposed to be one way, and now it's being changed and it's a detriment. I think we have to find a better solution.
I'm just looking at the plan, and wherever you move it to, you're gonna put it next to somebody else's unit. You know, like I looked at, like if you look at building B in unit 6, say you brought that curbing out front, or brought the dumpster out, the truck could come up the hill and hit it. But now it's gonna be in front of 6.
Yeah, the only spot I was thinking was like here, behind that parking lot.
This is the one on the way up.
Is that,
Yeah, but they gotta be able to, the truck.
Well, you pull up and you
Yeah.
back down into building A, and you go straight
Yeah,
across.
Yeah,
Where were you moving then?
right. Here, but that's not gonna,
Like over here.
guess
That's-
everybody,
that's a long
that's
distance
a long
from
walk.
Building
Wrong, so then.
It is, but originally it was one dumpster originally,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's,
you're right. They get
it's
back into
away
A.
from everyone.
It's not the matter of the location, it's the matter of involvement of dumpsters.
yeah, and not only that,
If you could accommodate 6 dumpsters, that still gives you your.
Or a bigger dumpster with a more,
we don't have
Pick up
any,
more
we
often.
don't have any recyclable dumpsters here either.
right.
You know, and then, you know, I
They
mean,
could put a can, big can through that. That's how they do it.
I,
Just add something about that recycling.
yes, you can.
You want it CWPM, the recycling.
You have to go to a microphone
No.
and it's okay. Okay.
I don't wanna interrupt you on that, right? So CWPM, what they'll do with their garbage is they have picking stations, just like Mr. Cavallo said. USA has that availability as well. What they do is they just pick everything up. It gets dumped on a belt, it gets sorted, it gets picked. That's how CWPM does it. We can also give the people a simple, I mean, they're paying for it, it's their association dues. So whatever the costs increase, it gets passed to them. We have the condo fees down very low there. That's why we're trying to keep this thing with just simple dumpsters, pick up the garbage, CWPM handles the separation and all that. They pay one fee and we're done. If we add the little blue containers, they go in the garages. Remember, 12 units only have garages. Where are those other containers gonna go?
Oh, all
You
these
can't-
units don't have garages?
Yeah, so you got 24 units
All right,
that you can't put garbage cans outside.
all right.
Dumpsters have to be there. And basically, I just wanted to add that.
All right.
If I can through the chair.
Yes,
I mean, I agree, like, even if you put all the dumpsters in one spot, it just makes that a problem for more people in other units. I like the fact that they're kind of spread out a little bit. I think they're placed based on this site plan in a very good spot. Unfortunately, not for this gentleman. But if you could fix that to make it look aesthetically, I don't know how you solve this problem unless you go to individual garbages, and that is not gonna solve your problem. I actually think that's gonna make it worse. Based just in my own neighborhood with my garbage cans out, every Monday, I gotta go pick it up because the bear or raccoon, we try to get a bear-proof can, they still open them. It's still gonna be a problem. I don't care how you look at it. So I'm not really opposed on how you have this. I do think that if something could be worked out with this gentleman to please him more, I think that would be what I would say. That's my opinion.
Through the chair, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Did you sell unit 6, building D yet?
What's that?
Did you sell unit 6, building D?
So A is gone
Yeah,
and D is gone
he's gone.
and C is pretty much sold out.
Yeah, you could put it down the other end, but it'd be a lot of modification.
But here's
If
the
it's
other
just next to
alternative.
Unit 6, then maybe he likes it.
Listen, I like Adam and his wife, and I feel bad that this is going on in the little baby here. I would even be opposed to buying their unit back and having them go over to building B and move in that building. That's an N unit. It's bordered up against the woods. It's nice. I mean, I don't know what else to do, and I really feel bad about this. But I did not, all of a sudden just say, oh, I'm gonna put it in front of their house. I didn't mean it that way. It was an engineering mess up, just like there was a couple things on that project. It's how I bought it. I missed it. I'm human. I made a mistake.
Through
I
the chair,
just need it rectified.
yes.
can I propose one more question here? So the site under construction, the proposed parking lots that you have down below
Yeah,
here, why couldn't you put multiple dumpsters down there and where each of your dumpster sites are, put additional parking? That takes the dumpsters away from everybody, keeps the rodents, the bugs and everything away from everybody, and it adds parking in each of the building locations.
the problem is you put the dumpsters.
That way you have entrances, the dumpsters, the trucks come in, they empty it, it's all down, it's away from everybody. It keeps the, again, rats, rodents,
is everybody,
bugs,
though.
everything.
You-
Dumpsters, the garbage trucks that are coming up are currently a problem.
Yeah, so
On
put
the
them down
site
below
plan.
where they wouldn't bother anybody coming in and out, so.
On the site plan, it shows that there's ample room to back up, turn around, leave your house essentially. But if you can, in some of the pictures, sorry, let me pass her off. Sorry. There is not sufficient room to back up, and every Sunday, I need to go out to my car and move it forward because that garbage truck comes flying up the hill and it gets very close to my car, like within 2 feet. There's the garbage truck every Monday morning, just flipping the truck up. And it's a problem, not just because there's trash. It's creating bug problems, larger animal problems. And I'm worried that my car is going to get dinged by that big truck coming flying up the hill. I understand that there needs to be trash and we all want the trash
get
to
it, I get
disappear.
it. So
I would just suggest reviewing with everyone and trying to get the HOA together, everyone there, to see where we can sufficiently put it. You have up at the top, what's it? Turn around.
Continue.
You have
See what you can do.
different parking spots up there, which makes sense.
Where were we going?
If we can we not move down the
Let's-
handicap parking spaces to move them closer to the building where you would want to have your elders who need handicap or
They need to be able to walk to their.
they need to get closer so they can actually
dumpsters
be
are.
within sufficient room and then have a larger enclosed, because I have seen bears and skunks and raccoons along with the smaller critters. Why can't we just stick it up there?
So, through the chair,
And it would be, sorry, it would be more sightly.
through the chair, you know, we can discuss this for another 3 hours. I don't think we're gonna come up with an answer. Hang on a second. You have a condo association?
Well,
We
we're
have
the
the
condo
HOA forms,
association.
we're paying
Okay,
fees.
but you have a president,
Well, you don't have that until they're over 50% gone, so we haven't turned it over yet, so I'm the association.
Okay, because usually with a condo association, the association meets and they can make this.
Yeah, well,
Right, so right now, that's
it's
me
the
and the lawyer.
Developers Association at this point.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
this is my,
I got one quick thing.
go ahead.
If this is gonna solve a problem, we'll eliminate the dumpster between D and C. Okay, for now, we'll just eliminate it. We'll keep the ones that are proposed. The one down at Building A that's installed, working, and we're having no issues. The one that's proposed, let's eliminate the one up there. We'll take the dumpster out of there. We'll put it down on that first one for now. And let's get the group of people between those buildings, the 6 people, and say, where do you want to take your garbage to? You want to walk it down the hill? I'll put a bigger dumpster in.
You're not gonna plan it in front of us now. You should have planned it a long time.
No,
ago.
no, I get
Right?
it. I get it.
And I like John's suggestion about the parking spaces at the beginning of this place when you drive in and take the dumpsters, create parking where the dumpsters are located and put the dumpsters where the parking spaces are when you drive into the facility. That way, the trucks don't have to go up into the facility. You can isolate the dumpsters and, you know, it just means that people have to go down there to get to the dumpster. That's the only difficulty. But you're not gonna have dumpsters outside of people's houses and you're not gonna have garbage trucks going up through the community. I kind of like that. Is that doable?
Well, we can definitely do that if we can get the spaces in, but where the dumpsters are located, they're placed in such a manner that when the truck pulls up, they hit it straight. So I understand what you're saying, sir. You know, I do. But once you close off these parking spaces, like there's no parking spaces where this dumpster is. You can't put a parking space in there. So the one down the end, there's a turnaround down there. See, it's hatched out. That's where we put the snow.
Well, you did make a suggestion of negotiating with the homeowner directly about moving him to another unit or buying his unit back. You know, and
Yeah, I don't want them unhappy. I want them happy, but we also have to have a place for
we
garbage.
really don't want to see him unhappy either, actually.
No, I don't.
You know, if the world was a perfect place, nobody would be unhappy.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so I would, okay, we've heard from everybody, you know, commission's chance to talk about this. I personally think they just could continue this and see if they can come up with another plan, talk amongst themselves, and then come back to the commission for the next meeting. I don't think we have to make a decision on this tonight. It's been sitting out this way for quite a while. Anybody else have any opinions?
Through the chair,
Yeah.
listen, I'm really happy that you guys are trying to work this out. I've known you, Ryan, for a long time.
Yep.
You know, you both have been very, you know, not screaming at each other, and I understand that, you're just gonna have to sit down and figure this out. If you end up buying his unit back and move him or whatever he wants, it's actually he kind of is in the driver's seat because he bought the unit without the dumpster there. So, I mean, you know, but I understand you need more dumpsters, so you kind of both understand each other's problem. So I think maybe like what you know, our chairman said is to go back for the next month, figure it out, come back.
or put the dumpster in the spot that it was originally approved and drop 3 dumpsters there. That's what it is.
Do I
And
hear
at
a
that
motion
point-
to continue the hearing?
Yes. So moved.
To move, do I hear a second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, the hearings continue to the next, or the meeting.
Thank you.
The applications continue to the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Welcome to
Thank
town,
you.
sir.
Let me know the next meeting date by any chance.
It'll be the first Wednesday of the month, the first Wednesday in October, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good night.
Gentlemen, thank you.
The other thing is, they have the side dumpsters too.
Good night, Bob.
Side load dumpsters.
Okay, we have no old business. Continuing on with the agenda, we have new public hearings. Linda Perugini, site plan special permit for 505 Straits Turnpike, Watertown. RT zone proposal to build an office building, 18 parking spaces. Site development previously approved by special permit on August 20th, 2008. Permit expired in 2013. Date of receipt is August 7th. Public hearing scheduled for tonight. Carol, could you read the notice, please?
Town of Watertown, Connecticut, Planning and Zoning Commission, public hearing, legal notice. The Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Watertown, Connecticut will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, September 4th, 2024, on an application from Linda Perugini for site plan special permit 2024-05, 505 Straits Turnpike, Watertown, Connecticut, in a residential transition overlay zone. The proposed development consists of an office building with 18 parking spaces. The commission previously approved a site development plan by special permit number 248 on August 20th, 2008, and the permit expired on August 20, 2013.
Excuse me,
this
Carol,
hearing-
Carol, Mr. Geddes, we can hear you. Please go in another room. Thank you.
At this hearing, interested persons and written communications will be received. A copy of the application is on file in the Planning and Zoning Office and in the office of the Town Clerk, Watertown Municipal Center, 61 Echo Lake Road, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Dated at Watertown, Connecticut, this 22nd day of August and 29th day of August, 2024. Ken Demir, Secretary, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you, Carol.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Hi, guys. Nick Perugini. My wife and I owned this house for about 30 years. And we decided about 15 years ago to turn it into an office, two offices actually. And it was approved. And be honest with you, we never did anything. So the approval expired. We decided we're gonna go ahead and try to do it now. I'm retired. I have a little more time to work on it. So basically, it's the same exact thing. We're not changing anything at all. I talked to DOT last week. There were a couple of things they're looking for, minor stuff. They wanted a stop sign on the end of the driveway. They want to turn the sidewalk on an angle a little bit so there's more visibility when you go out. There's a couple of minor things they want that we're gonna do. Actually, we talked to them today. So I don't see a problem on that end. So I'm here to see.
Staff?
Mr. Chairman, the plan Nick has represented and by virtue of the fact that he's submitted the application with the signed plan that was approved by the PZC in 08 represents that the development has not changed. There is I don't say unwritten, but a general standard in land use that permits that were previously approved that have expired and have not materially changed the default is for approval. So I wrote you a resolution referencing the original conditions of approval. And again, it seems that the circumstances have not changed other than what Nick is referencing in terms of approval and review and approval by state DOT. So we're happy to suggest that the permit be not reauthorized, but approved, reapproved.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners have any questions?
I just wanted to say that because the transitional, this is gonna be a house, as you know. I have a preliminary sketch on the house. If you want to see it, it's gonna be just like a regular house.
Through the chair, Nick, where exactly is the location of the?
It's on 505. It's I don't know if you're familiar with Tree Turnpike, the corner lot, on the corner of Bunker Hill. There's an empty lot there, and then there's a house on the left side. It's mine. It's been vacant for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, wasn't there a house there originally that was torn down?
Yes, but that's not the lot they were.
So you're not, it's not on the corner?
No, that lot is owned by somebody else. I own the house right next door to,
Next to the lawyer.
next to the Lloyd, yes.
Okay, at the corner of Bunker Hill and
Yeah.
Straits Turnpike.
Yeah,
Right, next to the law office. Okay, that house.
yeah, it's a house. It's been vacant for the last 4 or 5 years. It's beyond repairs.
So this is definitely an improvement.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, all right, all right. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? No, okay. Do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No? All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve this resolution and
So
adopt it?
moved.
Okay, who
I
moves it?
approve.
Okay, a second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. It's approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much,
You're
guys. I
welcome.
really appreciate this.
Okay.
Good luck. Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
And I think it'll be great to have something there.
It definitely be
Something
an
nice.
improvement. We'll probably do something next spring, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Communications and bills, do we have any? No? All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
All the pictures here.
Oh, yeah. No, give it to Mark.